Hello, good evening. Welcome to a brand new show. Tonight, things are looking a little bit different. It is just me, and I am bringing you a brand new series today at the Games. Now, as all of you should know, it is the Paralympics, and that means time for wheelchair basketball. A game that I am very passionate about. I live and breathe. I follow it religiously. Talk about it as often as I can on the Mostly Ballin' show. So I saw an opportunity and I took it, and I will be with you guys over the next few nights, the next few weeks, following more specifically Paralympics GB as the men's and women's teams compete. But obviously we'll take a look at every other team as well. Have a look at all the fixtures coming up, talk about standout players, talk about how the teams are doing. I look forward to the knockout stages and predict along the way who we think is going to medal. There is a video on the channel that I did with my teammates from my local wheelchair basketball club, and they said how they thought that the guys and the women's were going to get on. But this is something different, something more focused on GB, because it's just an exciting time. They've got a very good history, and I believe that they're going to do big things this time around. Now, for those that might not know much about the game, don't worry, it is very similar to the able-bodied game. Very, very different, few different changes. Obviously, 24 seconds on the shot clock, 8 seconds getting over the halfway line. The scoring is the same. Fouling can look a little bit different. Obviously, if you make contact to the player, then it's a foul because you're in chairs as well. Anything that's like uncalled for, or too contacty, for lack of a better word, head on to another player, that can be seen as a foul. Going in from the back, and ramming a player, again, all these things can stack up for fouls. So really it's the contact that may differ. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. 3 seconds in the key will be a turnover. Travelling also looks a bit different. If you don't know, players are only allowed 2 pushes of their chair before they have to bounce the ball, should they choose to do that way. Although a lot of players tend to just bounce and push. But that is the ruling. If if a referee sees a player take more than 2 pushes and they haven't bounced the ball, then they're going to get called for travelling and it'll be a turnover. That is pretty much the basics of the game. It's a good game. I'm on a bit of a buzz, so my head's a little bit everywhere, but it's exciting. It's a good thing. I said to Egg over text message, I said, I'm going to try and count how many times players tip out of their chair, because it's something quite common in the game. You know, you see a player sat up with the ball and then they've been taken on by a defender and their wheel is spinning in the air and someone's got to come on and save them. So, you know, you never know what you're going to see for 1 second from the next. Another thing to mention is classification is part of the game. It's something you're going to hear about a lot on the commentary. Players are classified according to their different disabilities and ability. You have your 1-pointers all the way through to your 4.5, which are your more able-bodied players with not so much going on. And on the court, you can only have 14 points worth of players. So the head coaches will have to figure out who they're going to have on at any one time, which can obviously lead to tactical changes depending on how the game is going, things like that. So really that's all you need to know about the game. The one difference, again, in terms of how the tournament's being played, is we don't have as many teams this year. We have 4 groups, A and B, for men's and women's, made up of 4 teams, meaning that when it comes to knockout basketball and we have the quarters, all 8 teams in the men's and all 8 teams in the women's are going through. So these just group stages are key in seeing who will finish first to play the 4th place team in the other group and vice versa. So every team wants to start strong, needs to start strong to really get as high as possible. It's 2 points for a win. So really the 4-point mark gets you safe. So let's have a look at the groups and then look at what went on. Group A for the men's is Great Britain. They have faced Germany today, so that's out of the way. They also have Canada and the hosts, France. For Group B, it is the USA taking on Spain, Netherlands and Australia. Netherlands and Australia is currently going on at the time of this recording. The USA beat Spain 66-56. Great Britain beat Germany 76-55. And we will have a look at the others. I don't believe... No, France and Canada are to come tomorrow. For the women's groups, Great Britain again in Group A, beating Spain earlier on this morning, 69-34. Canada lost to China, 65-70. And then in Group B is the Netherlands and Japan, and the USA and Germany. Now, these are to come. Yes, I was just making sure. Yeah, these are to come. The only women's game today has happened in Group A. So other games to come tomorrow, and I will keep you updated every single day. So not to worry. Looking into the GB men's game, 76-55. I gotta say, it was a very exciting game. GB men dominated for most of it. After a bit of a slow start, they couldn't really get too many shots off. Germany took a very early lead, but that was very short-lived. Out of the 40 minutes, I think Great Britain had the lead overall for about 36 minutes of that game, when I was looking at all the stats. So just goes to show how in control Great Britain really were. And after my tweet on Twitter or X this morning, I got things a little wrong. I said it would be Great Britain's game, but a bit closer than that. But I'm impressed. I saw a very good game from the men, a very defensive game, saw a lot of full court pressing, not really allowing Germany many chances to get up, caused a lot of turnovers, and really it just allowed Great Britain to roll away with the game. Some standout players. Greg Warburton was the top scorer of the game, 24 points. Lee Manning, who acts as the big man for Great Britain, and he is a tall fella. He had a double-double, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Really, once he's in the centre of that key, there's no stopping him. He towers above the rest, so you've got no chance if you're trying to defend him, which works well. And the captain, Phil Pratt, the Welshman, had a difficult morning scoring, but saying that, had 18 assists, so he knew where his teammates were, and he was able to set them up. When we look at the percentages, not much separated them in terms of chances. It was 49% to Great Britain, and Germany's 45%. It was the turnovers really that did it for Germany. I would say 16 turnovers to Great Britain's 4, and Great Britain scored pretty much on every turnover. They had 16 turnover points to Germany's 5. So Germany were punished thanks to Great Britain's defensive efforts. You could see that was their big focus, and just getting the ball out as much as they could. A lot of other good performances. Kyle Marsh came on and had an impact. Ben Fox had a few steals. There was a few debut games as well. So really a lot of excitement from Paralympics GB's men. Moving on to the women, they played Spain, and Spain just winning that game at all, really. You had to feel sorry for them. On each quarter's breakdown, they couldn't get to the 10-point mark. It was an opening quarter of 20 points to 9 for the GB women, and then 17-8, 15-8, 17-9. Really didn't look that comfortable for Spain. Jade Atkin, before the half, nearly touched the 20-point mark. She finished with 19 points, and Robin Love added 16 to that. Joy Hazelden is a name that we've had on a podcast with myself and Egg before. She, if you think to what Chris Pratt, that's an actor, to what Phil Pratt did, Joy did very much the same. She set up a teammate and collected herself 13 assists. Now, the percentages and the field goals on this was very different. GB shot 54% to Spain's 28%. Everything was pretty much done in the paint. 40 points in the paint. Spain just couldn't defend them again. They had a great night at the free throw line as well. Missed very, very few. Maddie Martin made her Paralympic debut, got to the line and scored a point, so great feeling for her. And it was just an all-round really, really good morning for GB. I think now, looking at how they've both played, we can really see that they're up for the challenge. They're using their squads well. Terry Bywater for the men, 7th Paralympics game. Didn't feature much today, had 3 minutes at the end of the game, but is there when he's needed. He added 5 points on to the score. And for the women as well, they've used their squad well. Bit of a weaker side as to previous years, with a lot of new experience, but showing a strong game, and showing nothing to worry about. So really both sides have shown that they can go deep into this competition and definitely medal. Obviously they'll want to be improving on previous games, so I think silvers and golds will be the aim for both sides. Now, looking forward, coming up tomorrow, which will be the 30th, we've got the Netherlands taking on Japan. In the women's Group B, Spain and Australia for the men's, Germany and the US women's, France and Canada men, and China and Spain women. So no games for GB at the moment. Games start at 9:30 and go to 11:45, 3 o'clock, 5:15 and 8:30. So that is the structure of the games. But as I say, I'm on socials pretty much all day, every day throughout the tournament. And we'll be bringing you all the updates across the entire time. Up next for GB, now I got this wrong before, but they will be playing Canada. Now, in the predictions video, which is also on the channel, my coach AJ Jackson, who also competed in 2000 when Terry made his debut, said that with the Canadian team, look out for Patrick Anderson. And I have to say, I have to agree. He is a big presence. He is dangerous, really hard to play against. It gets a lot of it done for Canada. So Great Britain will want to focus on keeping him as quiet as possible, and just focusing on their game. What they did today, if they do that, don't think they've got a problem getting past Canada, but it will be the tough fixture. Same for Great Britain women. Canada, they played a few times in sort of practice games, warm-ups, so they know each other pretty well. Great Britain will just want to do what they did today, because, as I say, being known as one of the weaker sides, they've turned some heads, I believe. So if they just do what they did today, I think they'll manage, and will put both teams in a pretty comfortable position at the top of the groups. But that is pretty much it for what's coming up. More games tomorrow, as I said. If there's any questions that you guys have, obviously this is just the first one of a few more videos to come. Please comment on the video, comment on our socials at Mostly Balling Pod across Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Facebook is the EEB Media Network, which is who we are with. So look that up, and please drop everywhere a follow, show some love, because we all love doing what we do. I love doing this, and I'm excited. I'm on repeat, but I am. So thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comments how you think the teams will get on, where you think everyone will finish. And I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Bye.